Um, my name is Straight Jacket. Well, that's my nickname. Most people call me Stu. Um, and I'm here with my daughter. At the end of the day, a lot of things that I could say we're going to get into in in future episodes, and we'll get more in depth on my life and where I actually come from. But I'm born, raised, and moved to Missouri, and here I am.
All right, so I guess I'm face of Straight to the Face. My name is Bernea. We kind of came up with this whole premise of this show to give the father daughter, parent child, family member to family member perspective on everyday topics that we've been discussing in all of our living rooms, in all of our friendly dinners, with all of our barbecues and all that whatnot. And we thought we'd take it to online because not everyone necessarily has the opportunity to have such transparent conversations or conversations with their loved ones at all. Our dynamic within our relationship is very unique, and we thought that it would be important to share it with folks and just to kind of go ahead and cut our teeth at it. You see what I'm saying? Go ahead and see what we got to
I
offer.
mean, mhm.
So I am Face. I
Oh man.
am Kansas born and everywhere else raised. And let's go ahead and kick this off into it. So our first episode conversation, which I feel like we're not going to limit it just to the one episode, is relationships and how trash they have actually become to be. uh I guess we can say that
How
we
trash
both
they become to be. Well, is it trash or difficult to understand?
have see, so that's where we run into an issue because at this point I'm gonna say both. They're difficult to
Yeah.
understand and they're trash at the same time. But no, they're difficult to
Well,
understand and they're trash because of that.
the reason I say that is because eventually, when you're having a difficult time in the dating pool, whatever's going on, eventually you have to take your emotions out of it, and then you have to start using logic. So
Right.
I think it's a mixture of both. And honestly, that goes for men and women. So I don't want any females out there to take it personal or think that I'm trying to attack them, because men get emotional too about it. And you eventually have to, you have to start looking at yourself. If you're having a hard time dating and you're complaining about people, now I'm going to be speaking from a male's perspective now, and you're having a hard time finding a female that fits your needs, or for lack of better terms, or your wants, and they seem to be all just riding off the rails. You might want to look at yourself. Maybe it's you. Maybe your picker is off. Maybe you're
Mm.
attracting the wrong people. What is it you're doing to attract these particular individuals? So I think, and I say that because they have a lot of narratives that are flying around on the internet, right now, that men are this and men are that, and um, either men are too sensitive or men are too hard, or and then you hear a lot of men saying, certain things when it comes to the dating and the dating pool. And I think a lot of times, men and women, but I'm speaking from, what I'm saying, my male's perspective. I think you need to sit down and you need to look at yourself. I had to do it. You know, you gotta look at yourself at the end of the day.
I mean, I feel like you said, that does apply to both sides. It actually kind of reminds me of the conversation I was just having with some friends yesterday. And we were
Mhm.
kind of discussing, okay, so the formulation of a relationship, right? Typically,
Mhm.
traditionally, a man sees a woman, he's interested, he says something to her, and
Mhm.
she either goes along with it or doesn't, right? So we're just going to say
Right.
for this, she goes along with it. The issue it was between a married man and then a single friend. Like, so they're both friends, but he's married and she's single. And
Mhm.
what the perspective that it really started is because she was trying to get him to understand that although we are responsible for how long we'll deal in a relationship with someone, the real issue we run into is the fact that we're taken advantage of by men because we are naturally nurturers, you know. So we're gonna see the good in you, and we're gonna see the bad in you, and we're gonna stick in with the bad with you, even along with men explaining and talking about uh how we are not that good at this and we need help with that, and you got to be
Okay,
patient with us and all that.
hold on for a second. So you're talking about a conversation that you and some friends had, and this was between a single woman and a married man. They were having
Yeah.
this interaction.
Yes.
So
Well, we were all
this is
part of it,
okay.
but
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So I'm trying. I was about to. Okay. I thought you was going in a different direction because I was about to chop all that up.
No, 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 no. No inappropriate anything going on at all whatsoever. Like, absolutely not.
No,
That man left his
I
wife.
thought that's what it. You know, what I'm saying it was a
Oh
single
no.
woman, married man. I'm like, okay, all right, red flag, stop sign. Hold on, pull the car over, put it in park, take the keys out. No, we done already started off wrong,
It was
wrong,
all planned.
wrong, wrong.
Now I do have those situations as well. Those will be episodes coming soon. But
Oh, okay, so
um
continue. So now the single woman and the married man are talking about the man is speaking on men issues, and the female is talking about female issues. Go.
pretty much. So like her stance is men, many of the men that we're running into, which of course we already know it comes down to the picker. If you pick the wrong one, you have responsibility in that. We get that.
There it is.
Let's go the extra layer now. She was pretty much speaking in the fact that we're trying to see if this person is the right person. We're giving them the nurturing, we're giving them the support that they need, we're talking to them and, being there and so on and so forth. Pouring, 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 all the while not really getting poured back into. I don't make that face yet because I got to still give you the male's perspective. So the issue that she was saying is why is it that men want to stay so raggedy in like being so comfortable and taking advantage of a woman who he knows cares, or at least even just still wants him around. We not
Stop.
don't last statement. So the
How
guy, uh,
go ahead.
yeah. So the guy's perspective is your perspective. Because he's like, well, you have to take accountability and responsibility in the fact that if you see that this man is not pouring into you and you see this man is not giving and he's not doing so on and so forth, then why are you staying around?
Hold on for a second. So, boy meets girl. Girl is nurturing to boy.
Yeah.
How long? So this is out the gate.
Like, no, of course, with a how relationships go. There's a certain level of
No,
progression of
no,
nurturing.
no, no. I don't. Because people do all kind of weird stuff. No.
Okay.
So is she
Well,
saying out the gate? Because I have to kind of lean in the direction of she or maybe she's speaking on the behalf of some females that literally jump into a relationship and they're automatically nurturing, automatically this and automatic, you know what I'm saying? Automatically, but without knowing who this individual is. See,
um,
because I can't believe that you are going to give a stranger nurturing, your ear, your, I mean, wife qualities, queen qualities off rip, and you don't know this person. I don't
no.
see a man doing that for a woman, but many do.
I mean
I don't
that's
see.
that's the expectation these days. The expectation is I need for you to show me from a male's perspective. I need you to show me how wifely you are and how you're gonna take care of my household and my kids and everything before I even give anything to you. And then on the vice versa, women are like, well, I need to see how you provide. Are you gonna take care of me? You gonna pay my bills? You gonna do this? You gonna do that? So on and so forth, all financial and monetary. And then can you then protect me all the while I'm talking rah rah to you all the while? You know what I mean?
Okay,
Like,
so, like I get that, and I guess that's where you're saying is trash because men and women are coming into situations where there's an expectation already.
Yeah.
Um,
An unspoken expectation, thanks to
it,
who you
no,
are.
no, no. I mean, it's spoken. It's spoken. People are speaking on it. I mean, maybe you don't say that to that person, but there are certain expectations that men and women get into these relationships, or they get into whatever you call a situationship. I know me personally, before I extend myself, just through trial and error and just through um, experience alone, you're not going to get king qualities out of me. You're going to get to know me first.
But how do you get to
So,
know someone without you giving your king qualities? Like, it doesn't necessarily mean that you got to overextend yourself, but you got to show who you gonna be. Don't tell me, oh well, you'll get that from me later on when I know you a little better. I'm gonna be like, what?
conversation.
Huh?
What happened to good old fashioned conversation?
Good old, well, the thing that's
You, you
never
know,
existed. Good
back
old fashioned has never
back
existed.
sometime, like back in the olden days,
Like
back
the
when
early
somewhere
2000s.
back over there, they, people would actually talk to one another and say, "How was your day?" and "How was your day?" and "Well, how did this go for you?" or "This happened to me," or "This was a good thing. I'm blessed to be alive today." That people actually had conversations.
But
Those exist.
and understandably so. The issue was and is, and I can say this from my own personal experience. I feel like you're going to agree with me when I say this, but we'll see what happens. We had those types of conversations, and we built all of our wonderful, heartfelt, rah wonderment on those conversations. But see, the issue that we ran into is we weren't having the conversations we really needed to have. What are your 5-year goal? How do you want to raise your family?
Mhm.
Do you want to build versus do you want to just be, for lack no offense to nobody else, but you just want to pee on and be able to work for somebody else for the rest of your life? Where do you see yourself settling down? How do you handle conflict resolution? Like, we didn't have
Well,
those types of conversations. We built feelings
yeah,
on, oh, he makes me feel so special because, oh, he bought me flowers.
yeah, yeah.
I bought my own flowers.
Everything is emotional. I also feel like I think now people are more into being a character when they first meet someone and trying to live up to that character. The men and women, I think they're more into being a character. And like I told you, just when you got out there in the dating pool when you was first grown,
You better
I was
leave me
gonna
alone.
say, I ain't even gonna say it.
Yeah.
I told you that you would meet a man. You're gonna meet the man's representative.
Mm-hmm.
Every time you're going to meet the man's representative, give it a while because he is not going to be able to play that character for too long. And eventually you're going to see that person. And I feel like in a lot of situations, men and women will see the actual person, but like the character and run through all the stop signs and throw out all the red flags. A year and a half will go by, 2.5 years will go by. Then all of a sudden, you like, how the hell did I get here? Well, it said stop about 350 miles back. You didn't stop.
I
You knew
agree.
better.
I agree with
And
that.
that goes for men and women. So, I'm like, well, I didn't know she was like, yes, you did. Yes, you did. Stop lying. Yes, you
But
did. Yes, you
pause.
did.
Hold on. Good question though. Here's a good question just to expand on that though. What are you supposed to do? Because this kind of goes back to her point, right? What are you
Mm-hmm.
supposed to do when you do bring up these red flags and you put them in the person's face and all the while they explain them away? Oh no, I just had a tough time. Oh, I haven't been feeling like myself. Oh, I've got a mental disability. Oh, I've been serving in the military. Oh, I ain't never experienced that before. Ain't nobody ever taught it to me.
Okay, so here's the thing. As a man or a woman, well, I can speak for a man. Because men will run through red flags and they see them on women all the time just because, they like the woman's body parts. And she's got a pretty smile. You innately, once you reach a certain age, I don't care what anybody say. Once you reach a certain age, you know who you are, you know what you're about, and you wouldn't be out in this dating pool if you didn't know what you want.
Yeah.
If you're seeing you see more than one red flag, and maybe you take it to this person and say, what is this? Look, man, if they explain it away, but that's a red flag. It's just like you walking outside on a sunny day and somebody told you the sky is turquoise. And you're looking right at it. So what are you going to go with? Your innate sense, your gut feeling, your eyes, or somebody explaining away something that you just saw?
Facts. Okay, that's fair. That's fair.
That is part of the reason I think 50 to 80% of relationships, a lot of divorces are going on, a lot of relationships go in the can after 3.5 to 7 years, is because you've seen the red flags, you let that person explain them away, and you kept running all the stop signs. Now you done ran 240,000 stop signs, and you wonder why you just got into a head-on collision later on down the road.
Yeah.
Because you kept running stop signs. What's wrong with you? You all right? Goes for men and women. Men get with a female, and you done heard this, you done seen her do this. That's going on. She's still in contact with certain people on her phone. This is going on. And then you find out that she's like this and like that later on, and now you're calling her all out her name. She's everything but a child of God. But you knew that though. You have to take accountability. Men and women. Oh, now I got a baby by this woman. Well, you ran the red flags. You ran all the stop signs. Women is the same thing. Well, I didn't know he was. Yes, you did. Yes, you did. Stop lying.
But
yes, you did. You knew he was like that.
So then,
you knew he was like that when you lay down with him. Stop it. We're not doing that.
Right, in a way. But see, the thing is now we do have to keep in mind we are all flawed.
Everybody.
So where do you stop versus go? You know what I mean? Where do you stop and recognize that no, this is just a foul person outside of, people just doing foul things versus keep going because you have an understanding that they are just as human as you are and they're going to have shortcomings. They have these good qualities in them, but these few shortcomings could be something that we could work through.
It goes back to what I said. When you reach a certain age, in my opinion, and you have experienced some things and you've gone through some relationships and you've gone through this, that, and the third, relationship wise, you know what you want. You know what is acceptable and what is not acceptable. Okay. There is no, oh, he cheats a little bit.
Ooh, I hope I ain't ever heard nobody say no shit like that, but okay.
I mean, no, there are some, but and listen, I'm not here to judge either because there are men and women out there right now. There are men out there that have a, so to speak, queen, and the queen understands that he's going to be outside sleeping with other women. She doesn't have a problem with that as long as he comes home and takes care of this roof and these kids. There are situations like that.
I mean, yeah, if you think about it, a lot of the issues that we deal with in relationships, I was actually just talking about this with a friend not too long ago. A lot of the issues we deal with relationships, it stems back from back in the day. Because we already know great-great-grandmammy dealt with a whole lot of BS from great-great-grandpa because he had about 2 or 3 other families lined up. But as long as, look, we have this in our family right now. But as long as he took care of here, or what grandmammy spent up all his checks. That way then he had nothing else to go to nobody else.
Well, all I'm saying is I'm not here to judge because there are those situations out there. There are I was going to say, you know what? I was going to say I don't judge Okay, when a woman is, well, I guess I really can't judge it. There are situations where there are women out there that are dating around, and they have what the society has deemed as simps. Two or three of them, and all of them know about each other, and they still deal with the female. So, I, I, I,
Mo Patrick is no. No, I mean I could never because I mean okay. So the thing is if I'm dating, I'm dating. Okay, at that
right.
point we're dating, right? But at some point in time, I'm gonna be completely transparent and honest with you, Daddy. The moment in which that person crosses the bridge betwixt my legs, we go together.
But as
We
long
go
as he
together.
understands that, as long as he understands that, I mean,
Okay, well,
especially in
he needs to
today's.
understand it. But that's where the issue comes in. He needs to understand it. But at that point in time, then when we have that conversation and we talk about that, and then the fool decides to go and take a step out. Now, to the best of my knowledge, I ain't never been cheated on. To the best of my knowledge. So I don't really know what that feeling is. I just feel like people switch up and they get comfortable. But I
I'm
digress.
I don't know what a faithful woman looks like.
Mm.
So go figure. But I think the way you let the man know that you're not that type of you're not that type of a female, and you're not outside, so to speak. What they say is how you carry yourself.
Mhm.
You know what I'm saying? Like, hey, this is you know you you may have tried to place a certain value on me, but you know what I'm saying, I have, a value and a respect level and integrity of my own. And I'm just not going to just give this to you just for the sake of, blase, ABC.
Right.
And if I do decide to go down that road with you, understand that, what I'm saying, hey, bro, what I'm saying, I'm only dealing with you.
Right.
So like you need to understand that part of a commitment.
Yeah.
And I've been in those situations before. What I'm saying, I've been in those situations where um that understanding was there, but it didn't stop the female from getting up once she got bored or felt some kind of way, or this, that, and the third. So and let me not sit here and sound like some scorned man. I'm not gonna do that. I've been outside myself.
Okay.
I have
Well,
done my fair level of cheating, deceit, foolery, haberdashery. I have been involved in it all. I've been on both sides of the fence of that.
the
So
haberdashery.
yeah, all of it, all of that.
Me, however, I ain't never cheated. When I'm done with your ass, I'm gonna let you know I'm done. We're gonna
Yeah.
call it quits. We're gonna understand it's clean, clear, cool, cut, dry, done. And then I go on ahead and skedaddle and do what I do. So that's where I differ from my daddy. Like
Well,
I'm
that's
the thing is I would never want someone to do that to me. So therefore
right.
I'm not that to someone else, especially if I no, not even if, especially because I know the relationships I have been in outside of one. Okay.
Mhm.
One I would like to not have no claim to. But outside of one, all my
Mhm.
relationships, I felt like there was genuine feeling and emotion shared between me and those people. So I would never want to cause hurt or harm to those people like that. That's not my steez. Sorry, Daddy, but I can't.
I, I, hey, I'm glad you picked that up, and I mean, you're not outside like that. I mean, hey, look,
I didn't get it from either side. I kind of just developed that one on my own.
that's what I'm saying. Listen. I was outside. I did what I wanted to do when I felt like doing it, and um, that was that. Now, I've been married twice, and I can honestly say Yeah, yes. And for those that are watching, I'm a two-time loser. You know what I'm saying? In the marriage arena. So I don't, and I don't think there's gonna be a third time. It just don't seem like a good a good
Summertime.
yeah, it don't look like a good one for me.
Like
But I can say that when I was married,
both times?
the first hold on, my first marriage, let me get this correct. I did not cheat on her. And we fell into rough times a year and a half after we were married, and she picked up and took my daughter and left. And she was doing her own thing, and I did my own thing during that separation. And of course, we tried to reconcile, but that she was still doing her own thing. And then we ended up getting a divorce. My second marriage, I didn't cheat until halfway through it, and she was doing things, and I was doing things. Not anything that I'm proud of, but those things happen, and I think that's just poor choices. And not saying going out and sleeping with the other people was the poor choice. Why were we together? I think what I'm saying, you got to look at marriage to me, because I take marriage serious. You go into marriage, that's a partner, and within the past 3 years,
Yeah.
uh, really getting a grasp on marriage and a monogamous relationship with that one person, that's my partner. I've come to some understandings as well. I'm still learning. So, and I think I'm gonna die learning, and I really like it like that. But um if you gotta step out, on your partner, then you probably shouldn't have been married in the first place. One, or you should have come into the relationship with the understanding that um
It. This is it. Like the thing
no,
is,
no, I'm saying you
yeah.
you either come into the relationship and say, like you said, this is it, or if you're the type of individual, speaking from a man's point of view, you have that understanding with this female and let her listen. You are the one. You get you have the king's layout. You are the queen. You get this, that, and the third. But I'm these.
Huh.
Now, if you're cool with that,
So wait a
if
minute. What's that
if
man's
you,
name? So you try who you know who I'm talking about? What that man name? I'm gonna put him on the screen.
what do you mean,
So
Corey
you
Holcomb?
try. Oh my God! What is his freaking name?
Who are you talking about?
The transgressions, baby. You like yo? What is it like? Where you been? You gonna wash this off me, baby? Well, who is that? That
I don't know
man.
who that is.
You know who
I
that
don't know who
is.
that is. But I'm
Uh,
saying if a man, if you come into the relationship with the understand, listen, I hold everything down. I hold you down. I hold these kids down, the roof, the cars, the bills. You don't have to want for nothing, this, that, and that, but I'm still going to be outside. But I always come home. There are situations like that, like when we just talked about it. If you came into the situation like that in the beginning, and the woman knows this, and she has still made a conscious choice to say, "Okay, I know he outside, but he come home. What can you do? What can you do?"
what? Like, yeah. I don't know if I get that one. Like, I have absolutely.
What I'm saying is,
And
I know it probably wouldn't be for you, but I'm saying, to me, for it to be respectable, because what I'm saying, like I said, I cheated. That's not respectable. That's not, what I'm saying. That's not anything that's really respectable. So I mean, the only way, in me personally, and like it doesn't matter me respecting anyone, because however you live your life is how you live your life. But I could respect it if you came in the beginning of your relationship and said, "Listen, you're the one. We're gonna have a couple of babies. I'm gonna hold everything down. You ain't got to worry about nothing financially. You don't have to worry about nothing emotionally. You don't have to worry about nothing. You don't have to worry about a roof. You don't have to worry about nothing. I can take care of your mama, but I'm gonna be outside with these hoes. I'm gonna come. And if she says, "Okay,
Kevin
I'm with
Gates.
it. I'm riding with you. We together.
Kevin Gates
I
or
have that understanding." Then I can respect. It's like, hey, well, now you knew from the jump now what was going on.
yeah. Yeah, that's an absolute H no, hell no, hell no.
Well, we talking about
No,
relationships,
no,
and
no.
we talking about relationships now. So I
Yeah,
mean,
but
if we're gonna get into it, we're
that's
gonna
not a
get into it.
relationship. That's a situationship. That's not a relationship.
Some people, in some people's eyes, they consider it a relationship. That's what it is.
Okay, I got way too many mice going on right now. Where is my mouse? It's not on here. Okay, hold on. Define. Okay, so the person that I was trying to get my mind into was Kevin
Hmm.
Gates. Literally, he
Okay.
has a daggum um he has a clip on social media going around and literally saying that women have a certain natural innate intuition. Like if you're doing dirt 10 times out of 10, they're gonna find out you're doing dirt. Or they have some
Okay.
kind of inclination or feeling that you do. So he says, why
Right.
not just be upfront and honest with a woman from jump? She's like, if
I
she
said
asks
that.
me, I'm gonna tell her I've been out fucking. You gonna wash you gonna wash these transgressions off me, babe? Like it gives me cringe. It's literally what it is. And I have absolutely no interest in being in a relationship with somebody like that. You know, all power to you and respects to you. If that's something that you want to do in your relationships, you do what you got to do. But when it comes down to me, Brenea, I ain't going to give you my last name right now. You need to go ahead and make sure you move stage right, left, just out of my way. Out of my way.
Right.
Now,
Now,
to address that whole situation, the
interesting.
way they define relationship is the way in which two or more concepts, objects, or people are connected or the state of being connected. That's weirdo
Mhm.
shit. That's an adjustment. The state of being connected by blood or marriage, the way in which two or more people or groups regard and behave toward each other. Mm-mm.
I'd like to ask a question.
That's anything to do with love, except for maybe the marriage thing. But then at that point, a lot of people say marriage is nothing but a contract. So,
I'd like to ask a question. And I saw a clip of this on Facebook. I guess it was like one of those panels where they had men and women up there, and then like the audience is majority. I'm not sure exactly what show or what the name of, it skips me right now. But
I know who you're
there was a
talking about.
there was a young man up there, and he said, "Okay, so you have intuition, so you know where I'm going. You
Yes.
have intuition, so you know when your man's cheating, right?"
I mean, I personally do not, but I mean, I'm pretty sure I could have a natural innate
No,
feeling.
I'm asking you this question, and I'm asking you to ask your group of friends. The next time y'all get together in the little
Yeah.
huddle bunch in your hookah circle, ask them. So you know when a man or your man is cheating, right?
Yeah.
How come you can't tell when your man is unhappy?
I already got the answer for that for you. Because 9 times out of 10, a man is not communicating his emotions or what he's feeling. He's going through the motions. He's just taking on life. The whole man who, when he sat her down and had the conversation with her, sitting here talking about, I'm going to take care of everything financially. You ain't have to worry about nothing emotionally. And the man just does nothing but take, 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 take. And then all of a sudden, and all the while he could be going through his frustrations, but then all of a sudden now it's like, okay, now I'm out. I'm cheating. I'm doing whatever. Oh, it took a while for me to get here. Why the frick didn't you say anything? Why are you
Well,
not
here's the
communicating?
thing. Hold on, ma'am. Is that or is that not the responsibility of your partner, man or woman, to know the person that you're involved with?
No,
You,
that is
you
not
should get
my responsibility to know you because you have a mouth, you have hands, and I'm 9 times out of 10. I hope whoever chooses to be in a relationship with somebody, they are educated enough to be able to write or to speak what they are feeling. The thing that would
so
be the
you
same,
can't.
that would be the same thing you would be saying as if women go around and tell their men, well, you should just know. You should just read my mind on what I wanted. Like, no, it is our responsibility individually within relationships to communicate what we are feeling so that way
Understand that.
everyone's on the same page.
I understand that, but if you there, there hasn't been a woman that I've been in a serious relationship with that after she walks in the room after 30 seconds, I could tell what's going on with her. I can't read
Because
her
she trained,
mind, but what happened?
because she trained you that way.
No,
She's
ma'am.
gonna keep it that way. That's exactly what it is.
No, we're not.
Absolutely.
No, we're not.
Yes,
Then that
it is.
ain't got nothing to
No,
do with
that is no,
the
that
price
is
of rice per pound in
that is
Saskatchewan, Canada. See,
no. Because you have
there ain't no
learned how to
training,
read
man.
her nonverbal cues. Because she knows if she comes into the room and does this, and if she does it consistently enough, and you
No, no,
ask
no.
enough questions about it, you'll know what it represents. It's because you have been trained to do that. The thing is why not?
I'm not saying that. No, no, because you're saying it in a text of if she comes in upset. I know how to read this woman. I'm not talking about when she's angry.
Yeah, no, that's in any kind of
There's
emotional state she might be in. Absolutely. I have done it. I am a woman. So I know what ways and how I can do something to be able to work out some way to get what I want without me even having to speak. The only thing is that did not lead to any successful relationships for me. So I am
so
now learning to properly communicate what I'm feeling and not
what
expect
you
for this man to know what I'm feeling.
so what you trying to tell me that I was manipulated? I was being programmed in such a way that none of my thoughts were mine.
Pretty much.
None of my actions were mine. I
Pretty
was
much.
being remotely controlled by this woman.
So this is where I want you to go back and speak to maybe 2 or 3 of the ones that you would still have conversation with and ask them literally, whenever it came down to your nonverbal cues, did you have certain ways to act around me that you knew would convey or communicate to me and how I was supposed to make my next step?
Who the fuck that's gonna be? That I who that's gonna be?
I I ain't gonna say no names on here just in case they watching.
No, I mean who?
Well, you gonna share this on your social media so that way then people can see the show. So
Don't
people
none of
gonna
them,
see it.
don't none of them, they don't fool with me like that.
Okay, well then you need to find some way to get them to fool with you like that because I'm telling you this is fact.
Why?
This is fact. Not every woman communicates this way, but many women do because we watched our mothers, who watched their mothers, who watched their mothers.
I
Because if
believe
you
that.
think about the times in which we came from, when were we ever in any space as women to be able to speak out loud? There was times where we couldn't vote, we couldn't buy houses, we couldn't make decisions for our children, we couldn't do jack squat. So in order for us to communicate anything to our husbands, especially to make sure he felt like the macho man, you learn different manipulative ways in order to be able to communicate what you want to get your way. And we watch that. It's cyclical. It's been passed down, baby. That's ancestral. It's in the
It
gene.
ain't
It's
work.
in the DNA.
It ain't work.
It didn't work. You literally just admitted to it. What are you talking about?
Okay, but hold on, because they ain't with me. It apparently didn't work. That
No,
method didn't work.
exactly, because people don't effectively communicate. If people effectively communicated and actually had conversation and listened to hear and not to respond, then there would be a lot more there would be a lot less relationships that had pretty much an expected train wreck at the end because they would come to an understanding pretty early on, and then those who made it past that point would know how to have conflict resolution. Like they would know this is how I act and this is how what works best for me versus this is how I act and this is what works best for me. And we make that stuff shake. Like
Now
that's
you're cooking with grease now. I hear you. I hear you.
so all you have to do is find a partner who is willing to communicate. And then
I
even
don't.
so, who have the emotional intelligence.
Mm-hmm.
That's a big one. People miss that 1,000%. Is you can have communication with somebody, but if the person lacks emotional intelligence, excuse me, you can have all the words in the world, you can read all the books that you got in mind, but if you don't have emotional intelligence to understand when a situation may not necessarily be the way that you seeing it, or you trying to convey something to somebody and it's hitting completely different, Instead of arguing what you're trying to convey to that person, understand that, yo, it didn't hit right. So switch your words so that way then the person can receive what you have to say. You have to have emotional intelligence to be in a relationship. And if you don't know what that is, you should
I agree.
not be in a relationship.
I agree. I agree. I agree.
So,
I agree. So as you said, the dating pool is trash.
it's trash. It really is. It's trash. See, the
I mean,
thing
I'm
is,
not outside, so you know what I'm saying. I don't know.
like it's not as if I ain't been out here like that. Now, don't do that now. But it's enough to recognize that, okay, because I'm coming out of a marriage from like a couple years ago, right? We've been separated for quite some time, and
Mhm.
we're working out different things on the back end to make some things shake. And just even in the time of just having some conversations, because I'm not ugly, you know what I'm saying? So you're going to be recognized and noticed by people. I'm not ugly. And it's the conversations that I've had with some folks, even one in
I know that.
particular,
You're
like,
half me.
but even one in particular, I have had a pretty good feel towards, but I do have some guard because I was in a relationship that was good. I don't want to say that it was just all crap and all trash.
Mhm.
But I have some hurt from it that doesn't necessarily allow for me to move on easily. Like I've never been that type of person. Like it takes me a
Hold on.
little bit for me to be able to move forward.
Rick, let's dive into that a little bit.
Okay. What we diving into?
You have some. So it sounds like you're dealing with some sort of emotional trauma or relationship trauma. Let's get into that a little bit.
Yeah, I mean, but so the thing is there. I feel like we have experiences, right? And
Hmm.
I feel it's very important that we be cognizant of the words that our mouths speak because our ears hear them, right? So when I
Hmm.
speak of past relationships or things that I've been in, I try not to put the trauma tag on it because then it fully encompasses the whole thing as a negative. And not the whole relationship wasn't a negative. I've gotten two beautiful children out of both of my marriages. I have had happy experiences, especially in my latter marriage. It's just it pretty much came down to we did not have the right conversations in the beginning. We ignored red flags blatantly in the beginning as well. And therefore, it's made it an issue for me to move forward because I'm concerned, not worried, but I'm concerned that these things can happen again, that I can invest myself in someone again, that I can love someone again for it to then go and flip and switch and change. And that's only because I have not had a successful relationship with effective communication. So I don't know what that's like. And it's scary. But
I say take your time.
definitely, definitely. But then
Take
I
your
also
time.
do feel like there's enough time to be taken. You know what I'm saying? Like at some point in time, I feel like there can be some healing that happens through relationships for both
Mhm.
parties. If we have enough healthy balance within the two of us, enough want and drive to do for one another, there can be healing in that for any situations we have been in. You just have to find that person that you're comfortable enough with to share those
Mhm.
things with, and them then receiving and be receptive, and then you could see them actively wanting to help fix that. Any person, even someone who doesn't have emotional intelligence, can see where their significant other that they feel that they care for, keep in mind,
Mhm.
feel that they care for, is being affected by, and they're going to try to do what they can to help that person and to
So,
put them in a good space.
so I got a question. Do you think before a person, male or female, gets involved in a relationship that they should know themselves first?
Absolutely, because if you don't know yourself,
I
then
mean,
how you gonna be able to tell the other person how to treat you?
I mean, truly know yourself.
See, the thing is, That's
Next
sorry.
question. Next question. Before an individual, male or female, gets into a relationship, should said person not only know themselves, but love themselves as well?
Okay. So here's going to be like, oh, I hope you go ahead and you look at your daughter in a different light. I think it's important for the person to know themselves. The issue we run into is we are ever evolving and ever changing. So when it comes down to taking that time to yourself and really getting to know yourself, you're going to know yourself in that time. Should you know your foundations, your bases, your deal breakers, your absolutes? Sure. But to really sit there and hone in on who you are, I feel like will
Yeah.
hold you back from evolving, because and the wonderments that God has for us, right? Because you never know what type of person that you will become or be with the right person that God has intended for you. So at that point, then you're going to learn a different part of you. But to add, loving yourself is a non-negotiable. I told my previous relationship, any relationship I've ever been in, if you don't love yourself, you can't love me.
That I agree with, but I'd have to disagree with the knowing yourself, because that's what led me to actually loving myself, and also brought me out of depression. That time that I spent in between relationships, what I think it was, I want to say it was a good 5 to 8 years. I hadn't been in a serious relationship, and was monogamous for both, or not monogamous, but what is it?
Polyamorous?
Celibate
Oh yeah. Yes, a little bit.
for most of that time. I was just getting to know me, and this is going to sound strange to a lot of people. Even it sounded strange to like my closest friends. I was telling them, like, no, man, I'm getting to know me. And on the other side of that, coming out of that depression and getting to know me, I learned to look at that guy in the mirror and I love that dude. I love me for me. So I agree with that. But getting to know me and me knowing me,
Mm-hmm.
I got to carry both of those into anything that I'm getting into.
So question then, but do you feel like loving yourself is only achievable by knowing yourself?
No, I'm not going to say that. I'm not gonna say that. But that was it. I can only speak on my path. I can't speak on the next person's path, travels, experiences, or what have you.
Right.
That's how I grew into me,
Right.
and being able to look at that guy right there and say, "Yep, I love him. I love it." Sometimes, boy, you didn't treat yourself like you love you. From the outside looking in, it didn't look like you loved you, and I may not have. I may have loved myself, but I sure didn't like me, and I had to grow into that, and get that understanding. For lack of better terms, growing into it, I just really I had to get that understanding, and really, 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 really get comfortable in my own skin. I'm who I am, and there's only one of me. That's it.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, that's a tough one for sure. I have been the thing is I love me. Don't get me wrong. I love myself. I love me. But I feel like part of maturity is going through relationships, and a bigger part of maturity is coming across not valuing yourself through other people's eyes, right?
Facts.
Like I love me. I can look at me and I'm like, okay, yes, I feel like I'm attractive. I'm a smart woman. I'm, handling my business, doing what I'm supposed to do. But
Mm-hmm.
sometimes when you let those different things creep in, even more specifically with relationships, because people can be very evil. They can be very conniving.
Facts.
They can try to cut deep. you know, when they may be hurt, and it could be their fault, they're hurt, right? It ain't always on the other person. And sometimes seeing your value, or I have found that fighting, not seeing myself through other people's eyes, has been like my greatest battle.
Not seeing yourself through other people's eyes.
Yes. Just me. Not appeasing, not trying to appear a certain way, not trying to go with the trends, like not seeing me through other people's eyes. Like, how do they see me? It's like the DISC evaluation. Whenever it's like a personality test or whatever, and it gives you two different ways of, the first measurement is how I think people see me or expect me to be versus how I actually. And I've done that thing quite a few times because of my real estate coach that I work with. He does it with us like probably a few times a year, and it really resonated on how much more I focus in on how I think people expect me to be versus how I actually am. And I found that the lack of love that I had for myself is because I'm trying to be who I think people want me to be, as opposed to me being who I actually am. It literally holds me back in every avenue in my life. And I'm working on that act.
There you go. There you go. I thought that's what you were saying. Okay, that makes sense. Yeah. Yeah, that's good. That's gonna be important.
Yeah.
That's gonna be important. I ain't but 18 years older than you. And trust me, the earlier you learn that right there, what you just said, the better off the rest of your life is gonna be. Trust me. Yep.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
well, okay, people. Oh shoot, now hold on now. Because I told you we're gonna try to keep it short. Not short, but like the way that flowed was so good. Okay, anyways, we're gonna make sure that we go through some of these topics and kind of expand on them, because we didn't hit on like 11 different topics within relationships. And I feel like we should definitely hone in on some of these, because we have a lot of personal experiences that we may not know of one another, because one of these situations I didn't even know. It was a development around 30 minutes. I was like, oh, I didn't know that.
Well, but like we had discussed before when we came up with the topics, when you say relationships and how raggedy or difficult or to understand, that's a whole gamut. Like that's a tree. You can go on this branch and then that branch extends here. That's just a wide. You know what I'm saying? You say relationships alone, men and women. Like, man, come on. You can sit here and talk for the next 2 or 3 hours. That's how people are making panels. You know what I'm saying, of this stuff. But if you come in and say, why don't men hold doors for women anymore? Or why don't men open the car door up on dates? And why don't men walk on the outside toward the street and the woman walks up? What's happened to chivalry? You know what I'm saying? Something like that. Like that's specific. We could actually, we can get into it, and there's a certain dynamic that we can go into that either way. But when you say relationships, I mean, you basically say, okay, let's sit here, let's talk about humans.
Pretty much, what? Right? So that's going to be our next show then. Where the gentlemen at? Where the gentlemen
Let's talk about it. Let's talk about it. Let's talk about it.
Absolutely. Okay, then. Well, in order for us to make sure we keep this short, not to spend too much time on you guys, please always make sure that you do tune into our next video. If you have reached us at the very first show, thank you so much for supporting us. We love you. We appreciate you, especially if you made it to this point. But we're definitely going to make sure that we have our shows uploaded every Thursday. We try to have them up by 7 p.m. Definitely please make sure that you subscribe to our social medias. We really only have Instagram and YouTube at the moment, but we will expand as we spend more time on this. Any closing remarks that you have, Straight?
No, I think you pretty much said it said it all in a nutshell. We're gonna be back again, and we're gonna do this again. We're gonna dance again. Let's dance.
All right, guys. Well, thank you so much. Again, please make sure you subscribe, follow us. We love you. Thank you for the support. Till next week.
Thanks.